welcome to Meeting Malkmus, a pavement podcast. Hey, it's JD here, back for another week of opening the door on the refrigerator that is the catalog of seminal indie rock band Pavement, hoping to find the perfect condiment, maybe a delicious catsup, to open our eyes and ears to the greatness that is the music of Pavement. So there's that. Welcome to the 100th episode. I am uncool and underqualified, but I've been doing this for 99 episodes thus far, and here we are at the century mark. It's taken us a while to get here, so you could say it's a slow century. Or you could not. Hey, I'm still a dad after all. Come on, I got to do the dad jokes. To celebrate this monumental occasion, I got together with the boys from the Jix podcast, the Malkmus Conundrum, and we shot the shit, played some Pavement songs, and discussed the legacy of our favorite band for a little while. So I'm going to spin that for you right away. But I want to let you know that I appreciate you and you're amazing. And thanks for sticking with me. This has been a great ride and we've got a little ways to go. Porto was just announced yesterday. So if you're going, I'll see you there. Barcelona has been announced as well. And I won't be going to that one, I don't think. But fuck, that's going to be phenomenal. So there's that. Other Pavement news, I got nil. So for now, I guess I'll pass it over to the alternate universe, JD, to introduce you to the Malkmus Conundrum gang.
Like off the bat, I would say Pavement is a band that was only around for 10 years. January of 99 is when Slate Tracks came out, and January of 89 and then June of 99 was when we got Terror Twilight, and they toured and wrapped the show in the UK. Of course, we got a reunion in 2010, but beyond that, we're 11 years beyond that now. I'm here with Chris and Paul and Mark from the Malkmus Conundrum, and I want to know, I'm going to put it out to them. What is the legacy of this band at this point? Are young people picking up this band's catalog and getting into them? Or is it a cohort of us that are just sort of holding a torch? Where are we here in 2021?
Jesus.
Good question. I mean, if you're on TikTok, I guess like you're a fan of Pavement now, right? Because of the Harness Your Hopes and all that sort of stuff, right? I don't really know how to answer that. I don't know any young people. But what I will say is every waking moment I spend is thinking about Pavement, really. Like, I talk about Pavement every day. Like, so Chris and I are like, we do a lot of work together, and we chat every day, either talking on podcasts or on our phones or whatever. And I think we like, Chris, am I right in saying we talk about Pavement, and I think you and Mark are the same, like every day.
Every single day. Every single day we talk about Pavement. My relationship with Paul was bridged by Pavement. My relationship with Mark is strengthened by Pavement. We've got a lot of friends that we continually talk about Pavement, and we kind of we transfix and transform these arguments and discussions around the same stuff over and over. And I've known Mark since 2008, and we still can't decide what our favourite song is. We still can't decide what our favourite album is, and we continually and consistently discuss it over and over again.
And what I'll add to that is you think about all the bands you listened to back in the 90s, and like Pavement was one of them for me. And I loved them back then. I think like the first time I got into was Bright in the Corners for myself. It's like, it was just I was living with some girls, and one of their dates, or one of their boyfriends at the time, just left it on the top of the fridge where our CD player was. And I was like in the kitchen, and I just like whacked it on, and I was like, holy crap, this is amazing. And I did know some of the other songs, but that was when I really got into it. But my point is that there were lots of bands I listened to back then, and there's a heap of them that you can put them on now and it's like, oh, it's okay, but it feels a bit dated. But Pavement are one of those bands where I've never grown tired of listening to. Every time I put it on, I love it. And I think they're timeless. They're like, I put them with the Beatles and, Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, whether you like those bands or not. But I just, and more recently, like Sonic Youth and stuff like that, where this is timeless music. It's not that it was just the thing of the time and it was popular at the time. It's that it's great timeless music. And that's, I think, the legacy of Pavement.
Whoa. That's great.
Yeah, well, you got an answer to your question, JD.
Yeah, that's dynamite. Earlier on, and you guys each selected a song. I asked you to select a song that you felt sort of encapsulates or describes, maybe your relationship with Pavement or their music. And Chris, you had picked Zurich is Stained. Let's talk a little bit about that track.
So Zurich is Stained is it's one of the first songs that really, so when you're young and you're grown up, and I'm a little, I kind of missed Pavement in terms of when they were like really prominent. So I kind of got them a little bit later in life. But still, the first album, I kind of kept it kind of real in terms of how I listened to the band. So the first album I really, really got into was Slanted and Enchanted. And you listen to Summer Babe, and it just transforms you and takes you in, it makes you think about things in a way, it's like a warm cloud that takes you on this journey. Summer Babe, I think, is one of the greatest openings in the history of like music ever. But then you dig into Slanted and Enchanted, and as a wee guy listening to it, that album's quite hard to kind of start with. If you're coming to Pavement cold, it's quite a hard album to kind of, dig into. But Zurich is Stained really, really just kind of always kind of resonated with me straight off the bat. And a lot of it is to do with, and I've taken some notes because I listened to it about, 10 or 15 times today, just because I know preparing for this. And I just took some notes, and it's like the fact that it kind of hits straight into the singing, which is not necessarily a Pavement style. You know, it really hits in,
not at all.
really hits into it. The vocals are really kind of layered in terms of the music is, you know, I don't know much about music production, but I know that the vocals in Zurich is Stained isn't as prominent as some of the other songs in the album. And I'm you know, you're listening, you're like, why is that not as kind of loud and stuff? And I've written here like blame. Like this whole song is like about blame, and it's about like it's not my fault. You know, Zurich is neutral. It's part of Switzerland, and Switzerland's a neutral country. And this idea that Zurich is stained, and it's not my fault. I think
that's great.
It's you. So you're the one. You know, you've bled your kind of poison into the neutrality that is. And as a wee guy who, and my whole thing is, this is something we do on the Malkmus Conundrum, is like, I'm like the guy who always kind of deeply looks into the lyrics, and Zurich is Stained is the first time I really kind of, I felt like I got what Pavement was about, and Malkmus, Pavement, everything about those albums, and specifically Slanted and Enchanted, it's really subversive and really twisting your kind of points of view. And I think it's a really, really underrated song, and I love it.
I just want to come in and just back up how utterly amazing this song is. And given that it's like, a minute 40 or a minute 50 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I've been I tried to learn how to play this song for like 25 years. And I never, like, I finally worked out that the tuning's crazy, right? The tuning is like, it's like C, G, D, something, right? It's all like weird shapes. But see, when you learn how to play it and actually learn it and singing along with it, it's like, I'm experiencing brand new moments with this song that I already, like, was, again, like Gal, I think Zurich is Stained, Perfume V, Trigger Cut, I think those are like some of the best songs on Slanted. That album is just magnificent. But having a sort of second, like almost like a renaissance with Zurich is Stained, everything about it, it's really like, and also I don't like The Fall, but I've been listening to The Fall to try and just understand that band a bit better, and also get into the head of Malkmus a bit more, because obviously he's talked about how much he likes The Fall. This song is so just like, it's almost like not a tribute to The Fall, but it's really influenced by the guitar playing and just. But it's like Gary Young's drumming on it and stuff like that as well. It's absolutely perfect. I love it. It was a great pick, I thought, from Chris.
I think the lyrics are kind of fighting the music in this. Like the lyrics are literally the vocals, are fighting the lyrics to kind of be prominent on it. And that I love the guitar on it. The guitar's wailing, and it's just I think it's a really underrated song.
I love this song. I think it's an excellent song. Yeah, I remember I sat down to try to play. I mean, it only took me about 5 minutes to work out, but I do.
Because you're Mark, the virtuoso over here, of course, the virtuoso of the Malkmus Conundrum, I would say.
Thank you. Listen, flattery will get you everywhere. I think this is an excellent song. It's one of my favorite songs of the album. Great pick, excellent pick, Chris. Well done.
Mark, you picked AT&T.
Maybe someone's gonna save me. My heart is made of gravy, and the laps that swim from lunatics don't count. Open up your stocking, pull out all the things you never wanted from room service calls. Room service calls. Open up your hands and let me see the things you keep in there. I wanna split up 50-50. That's the way we do it in this rose town. I've got all the glory in the world. I hope it doesn't floor you before you go. Room service calls.
like when I think of that song, I get this sense of, in terms of his vocal affectation anyway, I get this sense of like desperation, and the music really goes with it as well. It's hopeful, and it's optimistic, but there's something desperate about it as well. What do you think about AT&T, and why did you pick this song as what you think represents Pavement?
So okay. The reason I picked this song, I wouldn't say this is my favorite Pavement song, just to get that clear. Like, I love Thin Grounded, Harness Your Hopes. I love this song. This is not it wouldn't be my top one. I don't know why that matters. The reason I picked this song is because this song has been stuck in my head for the past couple of weeks. And it just won't leave. And it's because for one of my kids, I bought a Star Wars Lego AT and AT. And ever since I did that, I can't stop thinking about AT and T. Subconsciously, I didn't know what was going on for the first week, but it was because the connection with the similar name that this song was planted in my head. But it really got me thinking. I thought I've got to talk about this song because it's I can't stop thinking about it. As you said, it sounds crazy. It sounds spontaneous, and it sounds a bit nuts, and it's full of energy, but the lyrics are genius in it, and they're really catchy, particularly the kind of starting parts where it's like, maybe someone's gonna save me. I love that, and I love the spritzer on ice in New York City. Those bits they're absolutely amazing. I think, it's just, they're full of energy. The music's great. Every line in it is genius. I'd love to know what the Jacob Javits, I'd like to thank you for everything, primarily your glass house means. I don't quite get that. I don't know who Jacob Javits is, but I just think this is a great song.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I think this is one of the highlights of that record for sure. Chris, what do you think?
So this album is, as we've mentioned on the Malkmus Conundrum, this is the album that everyone says is their favourite, but right. It's actually Brighten the Corners, let's be honest, for everyone. But this is the first song that I like. So this album is fantastic, Wowie Zowie. And there's so many great songs on it. But this is the first song I remember specifically. I mean, I don't know why I'm going to be so specific, but I was in Finiston when it wasn't Finiston the way it is now in Glasgow, and I was walking to the SECC, and I can't even remember the name of whatever gig I was going to, but I had my headphones in, and AT&T came on, and I remember just really being like, I had a pep in my step. I was like and I think that's what it does. It's a really weird song. I've always wondered about the title. I know it's like a sort of like mobile phone company or like a phone company or whatever.
Right.
And I as Mark says, like everything Mark says, like the beginning, maybe someone's going to save me. My heart is made of gravy.
Yeah, I mean that's Malkmus, right? It's
ideal. Open up your hands and let me see the things that keep you in there. I don't want to split up 50-50. That's the way we do it in this Rose Town. Like it's just the way it's I just think it's a brilliant song. I love AT&T, and I think it's a top song to kind of highlight because it's not something that was always going to kind of be kind of specifically spoken about, but I think it's great.
It's like that fun bit. It's a fun part of Wowie Zowie that's like grave architecture, AT&T, Flux equals rad. Yeah, it's the party zone of Wowie Zowie, which is probably is the best Pavement album, right? I mean, it probably is. I mean, it's Brighten the Corners, but it probably is Wowie Zowie.
Wowie Zowie is, objectively the best one. I mean, it is Brighten the Corners, but it's probably Wowie Zowie.
It's probably Wowie Zowie, but it might be Bright. It's really hard to know. I mean, if only there was a podcast to determine which was the best Pavement album. I think this song is exceptionally good. I think it's very funny for all the reasons you've mentioned. I love the lyrics in it. Again, I'm not really a lyrics guy. I'm a music guy, and musically, this kills. It's just really fun.
Absolutely.
And also Steve West, shout out to Steve West, because Steve West's playing on Wowie Zowie. Steve West is not a flashy drummer, but he's a really effective drummer, and he's a really considered drummer, and he seems like a really cool guy. In fact, I met Steve West once in a travel lodge. My old band was on tour, and he was on tour with Marble Valley, I guess it would have been.
Wow.
And we were staying in some travel lodge, like in the motorway outside
It's a
of
travel
like,
tavern, so
Travel Tavern, sure. That's I don't think that's going to work with the Meeting Malkmus crew, gal, but someone might get that reference anyway. Staying in a travel lodge like outside of Leicester or some place in England that is maybe not very glamorous, and we were checking in, and Duncan, our friend Duncan Robertson, who was in my old band, he was like, "That looks like Steve West from Pavement." And we were kind of staring at him from a distance going, "Oh my God, it's Steve West from Pavement. It's Steve West from Pavement." So of course we chatted to him, and he was a delight and posed for pictures and stuff. And so that was a really, really nice moment. I just think Steve West sometimes gets overlooked. I know in a previous episode of the Malkmus Conundrum, I said that Mark Ibold was like the sort of the second peg in the Pavement story, but I think Westy is the third peg. I think it's like Malkmus, Ibold, Westy is kind of the heart of Pavement, and I love his playing in this album. And yeah, musically, AT&T is just excellent. And yeah, it does feel like Malkmus is just sort of spitting it as he goes, like making it up as he goes along, and just happens upon some really funny lyrics.
He's such a master at that, though, right? Just rolling things out, and next thing you know, there's this rhyme or this pseudo rhyme that is just sitting right there, and you're just spellbound by it.
Hey, show me a word that rhymes with pavement. Right?
Did you hear? So somebody wrote me and they said, "I've been listening to that song, and tell me I'm wrong, but like listen to this theory I have." And I said, "Okay," and it was tell me a word that rhymes with pavement, and I would care if parents would roast them on split. But the next lyric after that is about engraving. Is don't etch it or
permanently sketch it.
Or permanently sketch it. And if you etch or permanently sketch, you could be engraving, which is engravement rhymes with pavement.
Oh my God.
And that's like this weird slant rhyme, right? Like, and I was just like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? But yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I love Stephen Malkmus.
He's
my
the best.
God. I love him. That is so great. And obviously also on one of the best ever Pavement songs, right? Harness Your Hopes.
Oh, yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I just love that guy.
All right. So, Paul, what was the song you chose? You chose Silent Kid.
So not like an obvious, or maybe an obvious choice, but not an obvious choice for me to pick, because I'm like Gal. I'm kind of like, I was going to pick something off of Watery Domestic, or actually really wanted to pick something off of Bright in the Corners, because again, as we know, that's probably the best Pavement album. But because I've talked about that kind of quite a lot on the Malkmus Conundrum over the past, I just thought Silence Kid sums up Pavement musically. Okay, it's such a weird opener to any album, but it's just so groovy. It's like it's like Bob is in the band now, right? So see when it all kind of kicks in and Bob's whacking that cowbell, Westy's just riding the ride cymbal, Mark Heibold on the bass, Spiral and SM just doing their magic in the guitars. It's the sound of Pavement as a band, because previously you've got like Slanted, obviously all the EPs, which is Spiral and Stephen and sometimes Gary or whoever was around. Slanted is the sort of formation of the band. Watery Domestic is Mark's in the band, but Gary's still on drums. This is like Crooked Rain is classic lineup Pavement, and everybody is represented in this song really well. It has a brilliant melody. I just love the guitars at the start. It's so good. It's like the pacing's perfect. It's just Westy, it's the perfect Steve West tempo. But then it just goes into this really lovely song. It's like lovely melody, and Stephen just sings it so well. And my favourite bit is the bridge where "This is the city life." That is just I don't know what it is. It's that thing about music that you can't quite explain, that it just makes you feel something, but you can't put it into words why. So you've got this brilliant track, verse, bridge, verse, and then it's the outro, which is the shambolic end of Pavement, where it's just falling to bits, hand me the drumstick, snare kick. It's got all the kind of Pavement idiosyncrasies lyrically, and it's the band playing really well. And again, is it called Silence Kid or Silent Kit, or what is it?
Yes.
So if you want to sum up Pavement in a song, Silence Kid does it for me.
I'm losing you.
What I would say is, I think you've absolutely nailed it, Paul.
Thanks, Gal. I've got quite good opinions on.
Fuck up! Everyone hates you. But the fact is see the whole thing, like Silence Kid, Silence Kit, like everything. It plays into the whole kind of pantheon of what Pavement is, because Pavement is like this. It's a band, obviously, but it like we've talked about how the fact that myself and Paul Carlin and Mark talk about Pavement and Stephen Malkmus every day. Like it's not a band. It's a
vocation.
It's a way of life.
Yeah, it's a way of life.
And what I love about this is just see that, like, when it starts and it's just that, watch it, Scott. And the fact, like, they just left that in, like, and then it, like, I just think everything about it is just that. I really think this. I think Paul's nailed it when he says this kind of represents, like, Pavement, like, and everything that goes with that, and how kind of the lyrics, the music, the tempo, and just that mental finish. It's
100% agree.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Those closing lines, like, ecstasy feels so warm inside till 5 hours later I am screwing myself with my hand. Like, yeah, just lay it all out, Stephen, hilarious.
So yeah, no, I just to jump in myself. Yeah, this is a great choice. It's an excellent opener. It's a fantastic opener, arguably one of his best. And I think actually when Paul lays it out there, it does represent the end to end of Pavement really well. I always remember this on the CD I had. It was Silent Kit. So I don't know where this Silent Kid comes from. I just remember it saying KIT.
Apparently, sorry, Marcus. Apparently, it's a splodge on the ink, which is why it looked like a T instead of a D.
Oh, so it actually is called Silent
I think
Kid.
that Wikipedia might be wrong. That's what I think.
Silence Kid is what I understand it to be called. But by the way, I hope I'm wrong.
I wouldn't argue with a podcast journalist, but but that's
award-winning podcast journalist.
But it's interesting because I think that, but that also see that whole kid. That's perfect for Malkmus. I think he wants that ambiguity, and I think that's the powerful part of pavement, having that kind of ambiguity and that mystery around it, and that endless interpretation. Because that's what real art is. It's different people interpreting the same thing in different ways, discussing it and reflecting on things. It's great.
You're great.
Oh,
You're great.
Oh, thank you.
You're
That
great.
was directed at me.
Yes.
You guys are all great. This is great, right?
Sorry, I just want to
Great.
mention Jacob Javits. Jacob Javits was a senator at one point, and
there you go.
and I mean I know what the senator wants.
What the senator wants is
Oh man, well, it's been really nice hanging out with you guys here for the 100th. You guys have a great podcast. Why don't you tell us about it and where people can find you individually as well if they so desire?
The Malkmus Conundrum, available wherever you get podcasts, I suppose. And if you can't find it, just tell us and we'll put it up wherever it doesn't exist.
And what is the thrust of the podcast again?
So it's sort of like a bracket tournament, but it's not a bracket. Basically, we're trying to work out what our favourite / the best Stephen Malkmus and the Jick song is. So basically, post-Pavement, Stephen Malkmus, we are going through every song. So, I think it's almost every song. We've maybe left off a couple of B-sides, and we're on episode 30 now. So we're almost there. We're basically just about to hit the semi-finals, and sorry, I'm just having a problem with my computer. Have I disappeared?
yeah. You're back
We
now.
can
You're
hear
back
you.
now. You're back now.
Paul's dead. Paul's died. Maybe for the best, to be honest. Oh, Jesus. Oh, he's back. Oh, no, he's just went all crazy. Oh, he spilled something. Fuck. Hopefully it's not breakfast soup.
I wasn't listening to what he was saying, so I can't really follow up and end his point.
No, he'll be back in a second. Paul, are you there? Oh, there he is. Are you there, Paul?
It's like the Blair Witch Project. What's going on here?
Hey, hi, Paul.
Hi, it's me, Paul. Just said to my... So I use my old smartphone as my camera, but it died, so I've used my new smartphone as my camera. And by the way, I look fucking excellent.
You look sexy. I would have sex with you.
The camera on this phone's good. Right, where was I? I was talking about the Malkmus Conundrum. So on the Malkmus Conundrum, we're trying to find out or uncover what is the best / our favourite post-Pavement Stephen Malkmus song. So we've listened to every song from Stephen Malkmus solo to Traditional Techniques, bringing in a lot of the B-sides and sort of bonus tracks from those albums in a sort of bracket style tournament, but it's not really like a classic bracket style because we draw songs episode by episode. So sometimes we do it live, other times we kind of know what the songs are in a week in advance, but we're at the semi-final stage and it's really it's kind of a miracle that Chris, Mark and I are still talking, but
Very true.
We're almost there. We recorded a great episode with JD. What we like to do also is do sort of stopgap episodes between rounds where we did one where we took a look at the sort of timeline of Stephen Malkmus. We did our favourite Pavement deep cuts, and with you we talked about your favourite Jick songs, some of your favourite Jick songs. So at the time of recording, by the way, you know what we haven't talked about? This week is the 30th anniversary of Perfect Sound Forever EP.
Oh,
Pavement,
wow.
which is
wow.
Debris Slide. Ba,
Yeah,
ba,
yeah.
ba, da, ba, Debris Slide.
Maybe she is rocket, eyes in the socket, so I'm gonna sock it. Ba 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 da ba, free slide. Ba 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 da ba, free slide. Ba 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 da ba, free slide. Ba 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 da ba, free slide.
So we're almost there. We're all on social media. The show has a Twitter account at Malkmus Conundrum, but I think that's a terrible
Jesus,
Twitter handle.
Change it then.
I'm at the Paul. Yeah, I can't be bothered. You know, it's too much work. I'm at the Paul Carlin. Chris is at the Galatron and at the Mark Edwards for Mark. So if you want some kind of dinner party tips, Mark really is your guy. And if you want sort of pavement content mixed in with content about the best football club on earth, Celtic, then follow Chris and I.
And wrestling and movies
amazing
as well.
Oh yeah, we're both wrestling guys as well now.
I'm a big wrestling guy too. I heard you guys talking about it on the last episode.
Yeah, Chris is a proper wrestler. Mark, I've got back into it, and
I've been a fan since I was 8 years old, so it's been a long time.
Let's talk after the show.
I smell a new podcast coming on.
Let's talk after the show, JD. Don't you worry about that.
By the way, JD, I just wanted to say one thing. Like you're thinking what you do after the end of Terror Twilight. This is my suggestion.
Hit me.
Do the jigs.
Yeah.
And we'll do the pavement conundrum.
Oh, boom.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Let's swap
Let's
battles.
switch. Yeah.
Do the old switcheroo. You do the jigs, we'll do pavement, and then it does actually allow us to do lots more crossover.
Yeah, lots of crossovers. Yeah.
Oh, that's a fucking dynamite idea.
Let's do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, it's really great meeting you and talking to you guys.
You too, man.
Thanks so much for doing this.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
Thanks for
JD.
having us.
Your podcast is great.
You're great.
Yours too.
Meeting Malkmus, a pavement podcast, is a weekly affair. Connect with JD at jd@meetingmalkmus.com. Please support the pod by rating, reviewing, or sponsoring us at meetingmalkmus.com. And hey, I'm social. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at Meeting Malkmus.
The most wonderful time of the year. Although, let's be honest, around the holidays, things really add up. But here's the good news. Only at Verizon, you can get a single line for $50 per month when you switch and bring your phone. So while ice skating for two is definitely costing more, here at Verizon, you can save. Gifts for your third cousins? Steep. A single line with Verizon? Not so steep. A real tree? Pricey. A single line with Verizon? Less pricey. Flights to see Mima and Pops? Those are up. A $50 per month single line? That's down. Even a trip to the Atlanta holiday market will cost you more. But with Verizon, you can switch and bring your phone for just $50 per month for a single line on unlimited welcome, with autopay plus taxes and fees. All this to say, during the holiday season, when everything is costing more, you can get more for less right now at a local Verizon store. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G, 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.